90% of people don't know that the forbidden file is still alive on the internet. And every time someone shares it, a person disappears. That file isn't just an ordinary video. The image is blurry, the sound is full of static, but there's something in it you can't deny. A man wearing a mask sits in front of the camera, just staring. And then, with a cold voice, he says, "Did you think I was gone? I'm still watching you." The police said it was fake, but the file was uploaded from inside their own server. That means someone within the system is bringing the monster back. So stay with me till the end, because you're about to see things no cop would ever dare to talk about. That night, the dark web server was open for only a few minutes. A link with no name, no description, just one sentence beneath it. "Do not watch alone." I connected through a VPN. The screen was black at first. The loading bar spun for a moment. Then the image appeared. A cramped room, cracked walls, a ceiling light flickering weakly. The air was thick with dust, like no one had breathed there for years. In the middle of the room sat a man wearing a cracked, white mask. He didn't move, just stared straight into the camera without blinking. Behind him, the wall was covered with photos, but only one of them was in color. A photo of a woman with an artificial smile, like it had just been taken. That smile. It was the exact same one found on the last victim's body. Suddenly, the ceiling light flickered, the image shook, and an old tape recorder began to play. "Did you think I was gone? No. I just waited for you to forget me." That's when I realized this file wasn't old. It was new. The monster is still hunting. Only now, it's watching us from behind the screen. And if you're still watching, maybe right now, it's watching you too. At first, I thought the voice was coming from the tape recorder. But no, it was alive. It came from behind the mask, calm and drawn out, like someone who knows no one can ever find them. He said, "Did you think I was gone? No, I just changed my perspective." Then there was a clicking sound, like the safety of a gun being released. Every word was precise, as if it had been scripted, but the tone wasn't human. An audio specialist said the low frequencies didn't match a real recorded voice. It either had a filter or was recorded inside a metal room. That's when I noticed an old alarm clock on the wall behind him, still ticking. The time read exactly 3:07, the same time the last murder was recorded. The monster spoke softly. "It's bedtime for all of you. I'm awake." Then the light began to flicker. The image broke into static, and one single word appeared on the screen. "Next." And the file ended. But that word kept echoing in my head, like the next one was me. After the word "next," the screen went black, but something strange remained. I went through the video frame by frame. I noticed one tiny new detail in just a single frame. A faint reflection on the glass of the woman's photo behind him. When I zoomed in, I saw a small logo, the emblem of the Florence police. Not a resemblance, the exact logo, every detail of it. That meant the photo was taken inside the police department. The very place where the Monster of Florence case was closed years ago. That's when I realized this wasn't just a video, it was a coded message. Someone inside the system is leaking something or testing us. That's why I'm telling you, within the next 10 minutes, you're going to see something the police never allowed the media to show. From this moment on, everything you say, see, or hear is part of a real puzzle. For hours, I kept scrubbing the footage back and forth. But there was something I kept missing every time. On the left side of the wall, between two black and white photos, a shadow was moving. At first, I thought it was a glitch in the image or the flicker of the light. But when I slowed the frames down, I saw the shadow moved in sync with the masked man's breathing. That meant someone was behind the camera, not just a tripod. In that moment, I realized the room wasn't just a set. It was real, and there were two people inside it. I sent the video to a lighting expert. He said that from the reflection in the lens, you could tell someone wearing dark clothes was standing by the wall, and that the shadow only appeared when the masked man was speaking, as if he were receiving instructions. There was another presence behind him, guiding him. That's when I became certain this wasn't just a game. The video is like a living case file, one that still hasn't been closed, and I'm stepping into it piece by piece. That damned photo wouldn't leave my mind. The woman was smiling, but her eyes looked tired, exactly like someone who knows she's about to die. When I brightened the image, I saw a tiny reflection in her pupils. I zoomed in and froze. The reflection was the same flickering ceiling light from the video's room. That meant the photo was taken there, in that same room, only before the recording began. At the bottom of the photo, a small number was written, 14/6/1985, the same date the last victim of the Florence case was reported. But the photo had the clarity of a modern camera, not an old film one. That means someone had recently found the woman and taken her picture again, not as a memorial, as a reenactment. Then a horrifying question hit me. If the monster is dead, who took that photo? And if he's alive, why use an old victim again? The answer was a psychological game, one that had trapped even the police. That's when I realized the woman's smile wasn't random. It was a signal. A smile meant for the person standing behind the camera. When I reopened the video, something small flashed on the table. A metallic card half caught in the lamp's light, with a tiny logo visible only in frame 216. I zoomed in, and I couldn't believe it. The logo belonged to the Italian police, more specifically, the Special Investigations Division, the very unit that had closed the monster case. It was an ID card for an officer named L. Bianchi, the same officer who, according to reports, went missing 3 months before the video surfaced. What did that mean? Either that officer is still alive, or someone is using his belongings as a message. When I compared the frames with the archived version, I saw a red stain on the card. But after filtering the image, I realized it wasn't blood. It was the official red stamp used to certify police documents. That meant the card had been taken directly from the system. That's when it hit me. This wasn't an old case anymore. It was a new operation, underground, using the name of a dead killer for something else entirely. Something much bigger than a single crime. And maybe one of those officers is now playing the monster's role. When I released the video, a few hours later I got an anonymous call. Not from WhatsApp, not from Telegram, a direct line with an Italian country code. The phone rang only once, then stopped. A few seconds later, a message appeared. You weren't supposed to see that file. At first, I thought it was a joke, but when I traced the number, it led back to a government-issued SIM card, an official line used only by staff. 5 minutes later, the file disappeared from my laptop, not from the desktop, from the main drive itself, like someone had entered the system directly. That night, I heard a bell ringing outside my window, the same sound as the alarm clock from the video. 3:07. No one else was awake, but the ringing went on until I went to the window and saw a sentence written in the fog on the glass. Don't upload again. That's when I realized this wasn't just a threat, it was a warning. And maybe, from that moment on, I wasn't just the storyteller anymore. I was one of the next victims. The day after the call, a package with no return address arrived. On it, a dusty label read, "For the one who still wants to know." Inside was an old flash drive, sealed with the official emblem of the Florence police. When I opened it, there was only one file, a PDF titled Operation F Shadow, Internal Copy. The first page began with a red warning. For internal use only, unauthorized access is a criminal offense. But in the later pages, one redacted section had been left untouched. It stated that the recorded voice from the video was a perfect match with that of Luigi Bianchi, the same officer whose ID card had appeared in the footage. But the most disturbing part was at the bottom of the page, a handwritten note that said, "Subject not deceased, transferred to silent unit." What did that mean? It meant the officer hadn't died. He'd been relocated to a classified unit. And in that moment, one sentence echoed in my head. The monster never dies. It just changes its uniform. After that night, the dark web went silent. No links, no uploads, no mention of the monster anywhere. But a week later, a new file appeared. A still image of an empty street in Florence. The timestamp was set to 3 days earlier. Beneath the image, only one sentence was written. "They're not hunting me. I'm hunting them. The words were carved into the photo in that same old font, and in the bottom corner, the emblem of the police department was visible. What did it mean? It meant the system itself was now doing the cleansing, and everyone who knew anything about the case was vanishing, one by one. Since that night, 3 of the investigators working on the file have stopped answering their phones. And I'm left with one question. If the monster was never just one person, how many of them are watching us now? In the next video, we'll uncover the missing case file that was opened only once in the police archives, and then disappeared forever. So don't miss what comes next.